Hey y'all, this is Octavius the Great coming through with a video on this Friday. It's been over a week since I made a video, so I just wanted to make a quick video. You've seen how everything is going this week with all these shootings and then also with the police shootings. So let's get into it, please. All right. Tamir Rice family asked Justice Department to reopen case into his death. Federal prosecutors said in late 2020 they will not bring charges against the two police officers involved. All right. All right. As you can see, they talk about the family of 12-year-old Tamir Rice, who was shot and killed by Cleveland police in 2014, asked the Justice Department on Friday to reopen the case into his death after it was closed in the waning weeks of the Trump administration. As mentioned before, the two officers did not have charges brought to them, saying the quality of the video footage of the shooting was too poor for them to conclusively establish what had happened. There were no other prosecutions in the case. In December 2015, a grand jury declined to bring criminal charges against the officers. Tamir's family said in a letter to the Justice Department that Trump officials were uninterested in seeking justice for him because of political reasons and made the case needlessly complicated. The truth is, this case is tragically simple. Tamir Rice was a boy. On November 22nd, 2014, he was doing something many boys enjoy, playing with a toy gun in a park near his house, attorneys for the family wrote in a letter. Tamir was black and the police officer who shot him was white. The shooting sparked community protests about the police treatment of black people, especially after a grand jury decided not to indict the officer or his partner. He was playing with a pellet gun outside a recreation center in Cleveland. It was on the west side, close to West 65th, off of Lorraine, for those that don't know where the recreation center is. On the 22nd of November 2014, when he was shot and killed by Officer Timothy Lohman, seconds after Lohman and his partner, Officer Frank Garmbach, arrived. The officers had been dispatched to the recreation center after a man called 911 to report that a guy, quote unquote, was pointing a gun at people. The caller told a 911 dispatcher that it was probably a juvenile and the gun might be fake, quote unquote, though the information was never relayed to the officers. Now, let me put a pause on this. With that also going on with the cops not being indicted, whoever that 911 dispatcher was, the caller told, whoever the 911 dispatcher was should also be hit with charges because you didn't report the full conversation that was going on between the person who called 911 and you as being that dispatcher. So that caused even more escalation with the situation. But let me get back into this. I'm still in so much pain because no one has been held accountable for the criminal act that took his life, Tamir's mother, Tamir Rice, said in a statement. I'm asking DOJ to reopen the investigation to my son's case. We need an indictment and a conviction for Tamir's death. The family's request put pressure on the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, and the Biden administration to begin publicly delivering on a commitment to combat racial discrimination in policing. Garland has said America doesn't, quote, yet have equal justice, unquote, but reopening the case could be complicated. The election of President Biden, your appointment, and your commitment to the rule of law, racial justice, and police reform give Tamir's family hope that the chance for accountability is not lost forever, the family said in a letter. Child, please. So let me stop right quick. So y'all think with this that Biden being president that he just gonna get on the quick foot to help us out, or for them to open up this case and give Tamir justice. We have a whole situation that's been going on since Obama first was in office. That when they was shooting down black people. We ain't getting nothing then, and we ain't getting nothing now. Because guess who got something? The Asian people in the Island Pacificers. They got $50 million off of this so-called Asian hate. And for 400 years to this very day, black people is going through the BS, the same old BS that been going on. And what have we gotten? criminalized. They sit up here and throw dirt on your name even though you're the victim. They want you to sit up here and be peaceful and not tear up stuff. And then they want to use black people and want to sit up here, use black mothers and grandmothers to tell people they don't tell people to calm down and to have peace. It shouldn't be that way, and people should be tired of that. And on top of that, I'll make that a separate video from that when I speak on them type of terms. All right, let me get back to this. The Justice Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Friday. To bring federal civil rights charges in cases like these, the Justice Department must prove that an officer's actions willfully broke the law and are not simply a result of a mistake, negligence, or bad judgment. It has been consistently tough for federal prosecutors to meet across both Democratic and Republican administrations, with the Justice Department declining criminal charges against police officers in other high-profile cases in recent years, including in the deaths of Eric Garner in New York City and Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, because they're not gonna do anything, y'all. We done had all these high-profile shootings, and what has happened? Exactly. In Tamir's case, the Justice Department said poor quality surveillance video recorded in the area where the shooting took place prevented prosecutors from being able to conclusively determine whether Tamir was or was not reaching for his toy gun just prior to being shot. The two officers who were investigated told authorities soon after the shooting that Tamir was reaching for the gun prior to being shot and was given multiple commands to show his hands. But the video, while grainy, shows that prosecutors need to know shows what prosecutors need to know, said Zoe Salzman, an attorney with Emory, Silly, and I'm not gonna go through all them names, which is working with Tamir's family. It is very clear on the most important points, she said. The timing, for one. It shows that Lohman was primed to shoot within 1 or 2 seconds after encountering Rice, and he didn't pause to investigate. She said the officers claimed they gave Rice commands were proven untrue, and prosecutors, including them, as fact. And here goes another thing. Now, it's been proven that they lied and it was wrong. So there was no perjury, no any type of thing, because you ain't gonna even get them for the murder. At least get you would think you lied about that, but that goes to show you too. They show you in your face every day. We're gonna protect ourselves, even if you do got evidence that we are killers. All right, back to the thing. But the letter from the Rice family's attorney said the Justice Department's explanation was designed to make the case seem as complicated as possible, because they did not want to take responsibility in the effort to run out the clock on certain federal charges. Doesn't that sound familiar with many people's cases? They sit up here when it basically black and white and very cut and dry. They sit up here and throw all type of red tape so certain things won't go on with people's cases. People are still to this day sitting in jail for crimes they should not have been arrested for, and on top of that, they should not even be served that long. Especially like with weed being legalized in different states. Get them people out of jail. All right, let me get back to the thing, because I'm getting off track a little bit. I'm getting off track. Let me see. In the effort to run. The letter asked that federal prosecutors convey a grand jury to consider charges against the police officer. Salzman said the family host Cleveland would also reconsider charges, but feel its best chance is with the federal government. All the Rice family is asking for here is a chance for justice. Again and again, politics trump justice. All they ask for is an honest investigation and a fair presentation of the evidence to a grand jury. Let me tell you something about Cleveland. Cleveland is not about to do nothing. They ain't about to do nothing, because we just had a shooting that happened, yesterday or the day before, of this young man on East 85th. Involving the DEA. They saying that the young man was coming up to the DA, and that's why the DA shot him. Could supposed to have been some type of altercation. But the victim's uncle, because the young man survived. The victim's uncle basically said that was a lie. The police tried to say that it was a victim and another person. The uncle said his nephew was by himself, and his nephew was heading towards the house. He done got dropped off, heading towards the house. How it came across to me is basically like that DA came up and shot him 3 times in the stomach for no reason, just because. And now the police chief, who is black as soot, want to sit up here and lie to the people, and try to make it seem like it was more than what it is. I believe the uncle. I don't care what nobody say. I believe the uncle because at the end of the day, people could lie and lie about stuff, but 9 times out of 10, ain't nobody gonna sit up here and BS, especially being on that camera when we know what type of climate we living in. Like that man has nothing to gain from lying on the police, especially if you sitting up there. I'm looking out my window and seeing stuff go down. People see stuff go down every day. The fact is, they want to sit up here, the media and the way that the police are structured and stuff like that, they are structured in shutting you down. So no matter how many voices, no matter how much evidence that we have, because we got enough evidence for the last 10, 15 years to put in a compilation of horror, police killings across America. All races on top of that too, but mainly black people, but all races too. They just killed a Mexican. I saw some other boy who looked kind of white. He got shot when he was playing with a toy BB gun, and the toy BB gun had the orange tip on there. So what does it tell you? They're just gonna shoot you just to be shooting you. And lightweight seem like they're going across the color line. I'm just waiting for an Asian to get popped, and then we'll see what people gonna do. Because black and brown people, you been getting shot. It's just time for you brown people to get your heads out there white man's ass and understand they don't care about y'all either. Every other year, something about immigration. And now you think it's something wonderful going on now that Biden want to talk about letting people come through. They have the right to try to better their lives. Please. We have the right to better our lives in the country we were born in. They trying to replace everybody here so they can make this into a full-fledged prison country. Don't y'all see that the rest of the world is laughing at us? We ain't getting no help from the Africans because they can't even help themselves. They more far gone than we is. But that's a story for another day. I just read this to y'all. Just want y'all to get the news. I got a couple other videos to make. Yeah, it's just gonna be a little one of them days because I haven't recorded in a week. I just want to give out some information and also get y'all opinions on what's going on. So I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. I will be coming through a couple more videos. So y'all take care, be safe, and death to white supremacy. Yes.